Thank you so much, Sherlin, and that was a wonderful presentation, Janani. Close to you and late to the party. Congratulations on the 99. It's no mean feat to score 99. It's a terrible achievement. I think it's the number one scorer. Like it's a record, right? I'm not
Yes,
wrong.
sir.
Do you have
Yes.
official confirmation on something like that? But or
No,
not
sir.
yet.
No, official. Not yet.
We'll apply for RTA and ask them. There is somebody with 100, we'll also need to know them, but I don't think there is anybody with 100 or anything. 99 is their top score, and I think it is going to be there for a while at least. So, congratulations on that. And yeah, it's not just audit, right? You've scored 93 in accounts as well.
Yes, sir.
That should be very good mark in the resume to put, but also it goes to say about the effort that we put in. So incredible achievement. Thank you so much. And the presentation was to the point to say. Before I start, I'll share my presentation. Okay, just give me a second. I do have a presentation, but it's not a PPT. It's my scribble board if you'd like to put that. Let's just play a task. You have to build a castle. Okay, a castle. Castle na and fort mari like. Before that, I'd like to know how many of you are good with Tamil and how many of you are not good with Tamil. Chat if you can put down Tamil is okay. It'll be nice. Well, good in Tamil. Good with Tamil. Not gone yet. Tamil good. Good with Tamil. Okay, let's just do the reverse. If you're not okay with me talking in Tamil, you can just tell me in the chat. And even if one person is not okay in Tamil, I'll make sure at least to stick to English or translate whatever mnemonic I maybe.
Castle.
You can do it in the chat and yes. English, sir. Okay, Rahul, no worries. Wonderful. Okay. So, Tamil is okay, but yes, Rahul is here, so we'll have to accommodate even one person. That won't be an issue now. So, everybody, all of you have just one job to build a castle, and you have a cube. Okay, you have a cube that you have to take to the place where you will be constructing, and based on what you take there, you will be able to construct. If you see in this image, everybody is trying to push the cube, right? If it's basic thing, if you push it manually, it's going to feel very harder, correct? But when you make it into a circle, like the man here, right? If you make it into a circle like this and you cut out these portions, it should feel easier and lightweighted, right? Is this the right way to build it though? Can I have some response in the chat? Is this the right way to build a castle? Can I take a circle into the building area, construction area to build the circle? No, no.
Build a castle.
Yeah.
இது வந்து கோட்டுக்கு இது இந்த கோட்டு பாத்தீங்கன்னா எவ்வளவு போட்டுட்டு இருப்பாங்க இவன் மட்டும்.
Okay, depends. No, we cannot use circle shape here. Okay. Harish, you've been on mute. Unmute. Okay. So most of you are getting it right. See, நமக்கு வேண்டியது like what we need is a castle, right? We need is a castle, and castle are built with blocks. So if you are going to take the round object to the castle, the construction site, how are you going to build that? So simple analogy, just because it is faster, speedy does not mean right. Okay, speedy, just because you can do it quicker, just because it feels easy, just because it is not uncomfortable, does not mean it is the right way to prepare. It goes with all walks of life. Just because you are able to solve just 10 questions and those 10 questions have a good chance to coming in the exam. I repeat this one thing, just because you know some important questions or whatever type of questions you have, and somebody has told that there is a good chance that 5 out of 10 questions are going to come from this list. Just because you have that list does not mean it is the right way to prepare. Of course, you can revise with that, but it is not the right way to prepare if we are to put it that way. It makes it faster, but will it serve the purpose? That is the entire point that you should ponder upon. Okay, so coming back to the castle, we need methods that take us to the exam, right? If somebody can in the chat tell today's date, dumbest question, but I want all of you to realize. Okay, one second. Bharani, I had this question in my thought as well. Okay, we are not playing here. You can just cut down the circle again to blocks. But the problem here is if you cut down the circle, you still lose marks, right? You still lose marks or you still lose more of the perimeter of the circle thing, right? So 40 மார்க்ல 10 மார்க் குறைச்சா ஸ்டில் ஃபெயில் தானே? அதே தானே இங்கேயும் லைக் அண்ட் 10 லெசன்ல ஒரு லெசன் விட்டு போறேன் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி தானே இது. So that is why it's still a problem in this situation. Hopefully that's okay. And today is 23, right? And once again, I need your assistance with dates. When is your exams? September 1. September 1. Some of you have May 2027. Got it. Jan 2027. September 1, Jan, Atom Foundation. Okay. For everybody giving September, I like to tell you the one thing. Nothing that you are going to see in the session, even before or even after now, okay, is going to extremely change marks. It is going to help you convert your preparation into results. Okay, I like to go with Dhoni's quote here. If you are prepared and you are still worrying about the exam, don't worry, you prepared. But if you are not prepared and you are still worried, still don't worry, nothing is going to change. Whatever you prepared is going to convert into results. That is the help that we can do. That is where we'll be discussing throughout today. Okay, but nothing extraordinary is going to change because it takes that hard work. அந்த இதுதான் திருப்பி இந்த பால் உருட்டிட்டு போனா மட்டும் கட்டிட முடியாது. You need the entire block there. That is the hard work that we are putting. But that in mind, sir, I did not prepare for 6 months. Sir, I did not prepare for 3 months, 2 months. I just had 1 month. Since results have come, I just had 1 month, 1.5 months. That is my only preparation. Is that preparation enough? At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, ICA does not check your preparation. How many of you have given exams before? Chatla given na yes. Me 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, quite a few of you. You can ask these people. If you're not given exams, you can ask these people. ICA does not ask how many days you prepared, what books you've used, or did you wake up in the morning or did you sleep late in the night? Nobody asked this. Okay, ICA is not worried about your preparation. ICA answer whether you are able to write the answer, present it properly, and give the working note and everything. That is the only stuff. And those things match with the search answer. That is the only stuff that ICA is actually worried about. Okay, so right now, like the phase that you should transition to is this. Till now, you would be you can call yourself as studying for CA Foundation or Intermediate. But from now, you should switch to this. You are studying for the exams of CA Foundation and Intermediate. Only the exams matter in the next 20 days, and every minute counts for that. Okay, I'm going to give a recap of what she said, but from my perspective of what should be going down. Okay, in the next 7 days, you have literally just 7 days, right? Almost 7 days or 8 days if you count out today as well, right? Can I study something new? Depends. New na, from the exam point of view, yes. If you can take a chapter and complete it within 3 days, why not? 3 hours, why not go for it? Okay, just because you've not studied 4 lessons from a subject and you can complete it in 2 days if you give it 12 hours, why not do it? That is a counterintuitive thought. But even now, you can study it only from the exam point of view. Will every minute you spend on the new chapter or any chapter convert into marks? Or to put it, incremental marks. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி படிச்சதோட இப்ப ஜாஸ்தியா உங்களால இதை வச்சு ஸ்கோர் பண்ண முடியுமா அப்படிங்கிற கேள்வி கேட்கணும். Okay, if that is possible, yes, take up the new chapter, but have time limits. Sometimes when you are taking something new, it might not get into your flow state from the first minute. So what you should be doing is this. Okay, I'll take this lesson. I'll give it 3 hours. I will see if I can get through this milestone within the next 3 hours. And if not, I will stop this chapter and go back to the next chapter or my own plan. Okay, that is the mindset that you should be in. Okay, so do study something new. If it is a small lesson, like in law, there are a lot of small lessons. Okay, that people skip, and it definitely comes for 4 marks. Instead of spending a lot of time now just on chapters that you've studied, you can take up chapters which are very small and can convert into marks. Okay, revise is fine, but you still have 7 days. In the 7 days, you can do this. Okay, can I take mock test now? I would say no, but if you have already planned and prepared for it, okay, then it is better. I beg to differ on most parts. Preparation greater than tests. If you have not studied and you are going to give the test, nothing new is going to show up. Okay, you already know the answer. படிக்கலனா டெஸ்ட்ல மட்டும் என்ன புதுசாவா வரப்போகுது, படிக்கலன்னா அதுலயும் வரும். அதுக்கு படிச்சுட்டு போகலாம் இருக்கிற 7 daysல. That is my only thought. If you're not prepared, test is not going to show anything new. You know that you've not prepared for that lesson or chapter. It's better to stick to preparation now than mock test in the next 7 days. Okay, but this does not mean for the May folks that you don't have to give mock test. Just like you would have heard it 1,000 times. Just like Janani said also, if you don't give a mock test before the exam, then the exam will become a mock test. But if you don't prepare, you'll still fail both the mock tests. So this preparation phase, right? You have 7 golden days and every minute counts, right? So in this preparation phase, what you can do is stick to your preparation, cover as much as ground as possible, cover as much as chapters, solve all the sum. Even now, okay, with only 7 days, if you are only able to do like 5 chapters in the 7 days, or what, let's just put 1 chapter per day. Even if you are only able to do 1 chapter per day, quality prep with this 7 chapters is better than quantity. If you ask me in the next 7 days, should I do 7 chapters with good quality preparation or 20 chapters with half glance preparation, I would still vote for the 7 quality preparations. Number 1, you'll get the maximum marks out of it. With glance does not mean see, let's just compare it with marks. Quality prep versus glance in the next 7 days. 20 chapters versus 7 chapters. This will get you 3.5 out of 5. This probably will get only 1 out of 5. If you are going to get more marks, it will probably be just 2 or 3 more. Okay, so instead of going for this, you could very well do this, and this will also compound and give you the confidence. This will only scare the shit out of you. So I would still ask you to stick to quality preparation. Okay, new materials. This is still another myth I would like to bust. If you're not touched that chapter, if you're not touched that subject, any material is going to be the same. At this point, what you should be doing is, if you are prepared for that chapter, stick to that material. If you have significantly studied for that subject from one material, stick to that material and study from that material. If you are going to leave that chapter, take some summary note and at least glance through that. Never leave any chapter, but do quality preparation from the material that you've studied from the beginning. Okay, for chapters that you're going to skip, you can watch the last day revision notes or some summary charts, or ICA has flow charts. I think you know that, right? In the website, there are flow charts. You can take that up and revise for the next 7 days. Okay, I've divided the entire phase into 3 parts. Okay, 3 parts. One is pre-revision. That is the next 7 days. Okay, almost 7 days. I don't count it as 7 days. One is the up to the exams. Okay, this is the pre-revision phase where you are still in the preparation mode. Okay, so the second one is revision. From the revision mode, what you are going to do is whatever you are going to study is the last time that you are going to study before the exam. That is the phase that you will be in. Okay, and the exam 3 hours. So for the pre-revision, we've talked about those 3 things. And for the revision rate, I have a strict thought. Okay, whatever happens, whatever under preparation that you've done for the first exams, meaning advanced accounts or foundation accounts, or if you're just giving group 2 costing, or if you have unit 2D, For the old syllabus students, it will be audit. Okay, whatever it might be, for the first paper, use the unfair advantage. What unfair advantage, sir? You don't have any limitation. For the rest of the papers, you have to stick to 1.5 days. But for these 4 papers, you have the advantage. You can take 1 month just for these papers, but that is extreme. What you can do is you can take 4 to 5 days. 4 to 5 days before these exams, you can start revising. What is the point of this revision, sir? If I did not prepare, even if you did not prepare, this will help you score better because you are still studying. This will give you the confidence. Always the first paper, before the first paper, right? If you've given before, you will have attempt jitters, like you will have the bad memories from the previous attempt. If you study properly for this paper, it will give you that confidence before entering the exam. Number 1. Number 2, if you look at all the papers, these are aggregate giving marks. At the end of the day, I will collectively, I think everybody will agree that all of us just want to cross that 150 or 300 mark at this point of time. For everybody giving September, tell me in the comments, all of you just want to cross 150 or 300, right? That is the mark right now we are focusing on. So if you are, how many of you are giving September right now? Just another yes will go. Okay. I think everybody will fairly agree on getting, at this point, we are all worried about 150 and 300, right? That is our aim right now. So if that is your aim, definitely what will matter is the aggregate. All the aggregate scoring papers are mostly, except for Unit 2D auditing, mostly are for the first papers, correct? The first paper that will give you the aggregate. If you are able to score properly in these papers, you will get the confidence, you will get the aggregate. And when you prepare for 4 to 5 days, you will cross that anxiety. Okay, you will cross that anxiety. That will give you the boost that you need. So first exam, that is, so first September is accounts exam, right? First September is accounts exam. So from 27, 28, 29, 30, luckily we have 31 as well. So for the 5 days, it is better to spend with accounting. Or if you have something more to prepare, you can just strike off 27 and start from 28. That is a very decent timeline to start your preparation for the first paper. Do you have any questions so far? Are we all on the same track? Let me just open the chat once. Yes, we will definitely be discussing what we'll be doing for Jan 27 and May 27. I just wanted to spend the first half of my talk with the September students because they are already in the hurry right now. Are you practicing? No. Okay. We have to. Okay, sir. No worry. All okay. Okay. So the first exam is your unfair advantage. You don't have the 1.5 day problem. You have a 4 day or 5 day, or even if you want, you can take 1 week. So for CA final FR, most students take 1 week for FR, which is a very good sign, and which is still not enough to complete 100% of the syllabus for CA final. So for advanced accounts, I think 4 to 5 days is a very decent time for us to revise the entire syllabus before the exam. Okay. So in the 1.5 days, there are 3 to 4 scenarios that happen in the 1.5 days. It is very important for you to have a plan before the 1.5 days. How will you study in the 1.5 days? That is the biggest question. Okay. So there is a myth. Should I be studying in the 1.5 days or glance? Revision is being confused. Revision is equal to redo. Okay. Majority redo is revision. Glance is not revision. Okay. There are students who just before the 1.5 days, even for subjects like auditing or SM, or even for subjects specifically for subjects like advanced accounts or costing, glance through the book, meaning they don't actively study, they are passively revising. Is that the efficient way to do? Definitely not. What I would suggest is you can cover 60 to 70% of the entire syllabus, okay, in the 1.5 days and do a proper study of that. Okay, proper in the sense you can mark if there are 30 sums in a chapter, 30 sums in a chapter, you can at least plan to do 15 to 20 sums of that chapter. Okay, and if you are able to cover 60% of the syllabus in 1.5 day, you have a short-term memory advantage for the next day. This is the most important thing. Sir, I will not be able to remember what I study. That is the problem that I'm facing. How many of you are facing that problem that I'm not able to remember whatever I study for the exam? Me, myself. Got it. See, only if you tell that you are able to 100% remember, that is a red flag, because that is probably a lie, because all of us are humans. We tend to forget. The human brain has a record memory of only 7 seconds, or at least 7 days to an extent, if you understand it and remember. So short-term memory is your unfair advantage. All of your preparation in the last 3 months is for the 1.5 days leave that you get. I'll repeat, all of the preparation that you've done in the last 2, 3, or 1.5, or even 6 months is for the 1.5 days revision phase that you get. Okay. So in that revision phase, you have to reactivate your short-term memory. Meaning you cannot glance through. You cannot just glance through. You have to redo majority of the portions from at least 60% chapters. Okay, sir, how will I revise? Should I also study on the day of exam? Okay, the exam is at 2 p.m., right? So until 11, on the same day 11, okay, until 11, I would say redo is the best way to go. Okay, after 11, you can consider going to glance mode. Until 11, I would consider doing 60 to 70% of the syllabus as redo. The 30% can wait for the 2 hours for glance. Anyway, you're only going to glance it, but I would put my money on 60 to 70% redo rather than 30% glance. Is that clear? So 1.5 days is the core. Plan it well, and don't be afraid if you are only able to cover 60 to 70%, because that is the maximum that you can cover by redoing it. Okay. That is the maximum that you can do. And most plans tend to fail. Just plan again and start over. Okay, don't be obsessed with what has gone past. Just focus on the present and the future. Okay, a few basic things about the exams. Always don't focus on, don't take up question 1 as the first question until and unless all the other questions are very difficult and you are not able to even open up. Even then, I would say for subjects like tax, even if you don't know anything else, don't start with question 1. What I would want you to mentally be prepared is, see, for every subject, take 2 questions. That is 2 chapters. Most probably 2 chapters. You will definitely have 1 question from that. You should pick chapters where you will definitely have 1 question from it, and be very comfortable with those chapters. Okay. So when you're opening the question paper, always look for that chapter, so that you feel comfortable from question 1, not the first question. From the first question you write, not from the first question in the question paper. Okay, so that you feel very comfortable from the first question you write. Take up that question that you truly know and are very comfortable in getting the confidence. Okay, take up that question and start from there. Do not start with compulsory question. Don't start with that. Okay, take up with the most confident question. So even if it is 2B, for example, you can start with 2B. Then if you don't know 2A or 2C, leave 2 or even 3 pages. Okay, nobody is questioning you for wasting pages of ICA. Not even ICA is going to question you. So just leave as many pages as you would need for 2A and 2C, or okay, and move on to the next subdivision. And the second best question that you might know is probably 6B. Let's just assume that. Okay, do the same and leave gap for 6A, C, and 6D. Okay. By this case, the first 30 marks that you write, right, that you will be writing, that should be the most confident answer. Okay, that is not for the examiner. Be very clear. You will be writing this first, this second, and probably this third. Let's just assume this is not for the examiner. This is for you to get into the flow state. The flow state is where there is enough focus and enough confidence. Where both of these things are there, you will be able to write faster. You will be able to gather all the answer. For your subconscious mind to be activated, you should be in flow state, for which you should start with getting small wins and getting the confidence. Okay, so in the first 1 hour, plan to write all the questions that you know, excluding the compulsory question. Okay. That is how you should be doing for question 1. Sir, should I start with MCQ or should I write it in the last, or where should I write it? This is the question that I get always. We have 4 chats. Let's just open it once. Should we attempt questions in order only? In case of theory as well, I'll discuss this thing. Okay. You can write any order within the sub question, like 2A, B, C, D, right? You can write B, C, D, A or A, C, B, A. Okay, but you cannot write question 2B, 2C, 3C, and 6A. This is wrong. All these 3 things are right. You can start with question 2 and then jumble inside question, inside the sub questions. Okay, that won't be a problem, but this will be a problem. Okay, is it banned? It is not banned, but it is making the examiner very uncomfortable. Okay, I'll have one question. Since this question popped up, I'll have one question just to check the how much time do you think the examiner is going to spend with your paper? You written it for 3 hours, you studied for 3 or 6 months, right? How much time do you think the examiner is going to spend with your answer scripts? Can you tell it in chat? 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 5 minutes. Bala's in here. Okay, 5 minutes for each paper, 15 minutes. Unfortunately, I'll tell you the reality. ICA examiners are probably going to spend only 5 minutes to maximum 10 minutes. Okay, and I'd want you to stay in the 5 to 7 minute area, which means make the examiner comfortable. Okay, don't make it very clumsy for the examiner to check. That will make him lose focus and confidence on your answers as well. That is not banned. You still get marks. Once I did that in CFI and I got marks and got off well, and I passed that attempt. I once wrote 3A in between, and because I did not see it properly, but I still got marks and passed away. But the best practice, best approach is for you to do it this way. Question, you can start with question 2. Okay, if you are starting question 2, write 2A. Okay, then you can write C or D. Okay, whatever, B, C, D. There is no order within the question. You can, but you can write the question 2 and move on. Okay, and sir, but I know question 2A first, 3B second, 4C third. This is my favorite lineup. What should I do? Write question 2A. Leave space for question B, C in question 2. Okay, then write question 3B. Leave space for A, C, and D or whatever sub questions there are left. Then write question 4C. Leave space. I'll tell you one thing. For my final FR exam, I got additional seat in the first 40 minutes. Everybody was stunned. But I only wrote 3 questions because all my favorite questions were in different sub questions. I had to get an additional in the first 1 hour. If I'm not wrong, I got it in the first 1 hour. It was quite awkward, but I was able to become a confident. I was able to complete a lengthy paper within 3 hours, and I scored somewhere near 65 or something in FR. I passed that attempt, and rest is history. Okay, so you can write whatever order you want, but stick to staying in the question order and don't leave gaps. You don't have to write it immediately. You can leave gaps. Even if you don't know the question, at the end of the day, strike it off. But even if you don't know the question, write something or the other. The 3 papers, you can strike it off. That won't be a problem. I'll take the chat once. Okay, it's maximum 15 minutes. Got it. Okay, this is the thing that I wanted to discuss about the question order. This is something that is confusing all the time. And MCQs depends on the question paper. Okay, if it is a very difficult question paper, suppose if descriptive is very difficult, you are already rattled. There are going to be instances. We can all, before the exam hall, we can all go confident. Okay, always be delusionally confident. Okay, at the end of the day, that is the mindset you should be going on. But we are all human. There are nerves that can make us all go into a corner. That can happen. ICA has the power to do that. ICA has done that to almost every CA that has qualified. Okay, and that is probably going to happen to you before you qualify. But how to overcome it? Just in the first 15 minutes, observe your breath. Okay, and make clear choices. Accept the reality. Okay, I'll tell you 2 things. If there is a problem, then it can be solved. Okay, If it cannot be solved, it is not a problem. It's a reality. Okay, what you should be doing is accept the paper is difficult. What should I do now? I will do whatever I know. I will write whatever I know first, gain the confidence. So if the descriptive is very hard, go for the MCQ. That is when I would recommend you for going into the MCQ. If the descriptive is not that hard and you are confident, I would ask you to write or solve the MCQs after 1 hour 30 minutes, so that you have the first 1.5 hour or the first half of the 3 hours completely for questions that you know. See, out of 70 marks, let's be very honest, all of us will know only 30 to 40 marks very confidently, right? Only 30 to 40 marks. That is, that you will be able to finish in the first 1.5 hours. Within the first 1.5 hours, finish everything that you, at least 60 to 70% know that you are right. Okay. Finish all of that in the first half of the 3 hours and then go to the MCQs. Then come back, take question number 1. Okay. In the 1 hour 30 minutes phase or in the before 2 hour or when 2 hours strikes, take question number 1. Be very careful at this point. Take a timer, set a time. If you are not able to complete it, just keep it aside and complete everything else and come back. Okay, I'll discuss more on this question 1 problem. But for MCQs, I would say give a flow for descriptive. Give the first half. If you are confident, if you are very confident and not rattled, give the first half to MCQ. If you are rattled and scared of what is going to happen, take the MCQ first, because it will calm your mind, because it does not involve too much solving as much as descriptive. Take the MCQ, start marking the answers and move on to the descriptives then. Okay. It is a shield for a tough paper, but there are cases where MCQ is also very hard. But even then, I would ask you to get into the flow state for the first 1.5 hours for descriptive. Descriptive is 70 marks, or I would say 84 marks. There is an option, right? So 84 marks. I would ask you to focus on the majority scoring area. Yes, MCQ is a scoring area. So I would ask you to take it up in the 1 hour 30 minutes mark if you are confident with the descriptive. Okay, sir, I am able to score descriptive very much. I'm able to score very well in descriptive, but for the MCQs, I'm not able to score very well. What should I do? See, for MCQs, there are only 3 ways to score. 1, brutal reality. You have to have the conceptual clarity. Number 2, while solving, there is this elimination method. Okay, elimination method. You would have seen this everywhere, but I'll just put forth this to you. There are 4 options always in the MCQ, right? 4 options. When you open it, you are not supposed to look for the correct answer. Okay, when you see the MCQ, don't look for the correct option. Instead, go for the wrong answer. Start eliminating. Okay, there are 4 options. There is a 100% chance that when you look at it, there are going to be 2 options that are most likely wrong. Okay, most likely wrong. So when you first eliminate the 2 options, then you will be having a only two option problem. Either it's going to be A or B, or either it's going to be 2 options, right? So when you solve you will get the nearest answer and you can mark. Okay. The problem that arises is you search for the right answer, and when ICA plays with words, you miss out on marks. Okay. So first eliminate the wrong answer, then go for the right answer. This is a simple way, okay, to score in MCQ. Okay. But nothing will help you if you don't have the conceptual clarity. And third, practice a lot of MCQs. Okay. Don't give it specific times. We have this AI bot. If you've not come across our CA bot, okay. CA Guru AI bot is there. I'll share the number with the SICASA team. They can share. Okay. Whenever you are free, you can start solving those MCQs. That will be from ICA case study digest, ICA study material. All of it will be from ICA sources. Just solve for whenever you are traveling, whenever you are waiting somewhere, like in the hospital or in the bus station, or when you are traveling through cab, or just eating, or when you want to take a break, solve MCQs. At least have a target of what? 20 MCQs per day. Okay. When you start solving little MCQs one by day, you'll have that practice. Just don't be surprised on the day of exams. That is the best that you can do for MCQs. Okay. This is everything about MCQs. Okay. I'll go to the most important thing that I wanted to discuss with you. We have 3 hours. The exam is for 3 hours, correct? How much marks are we giving? 100 minutes. So for 1 minute, how much marks will we be spending? Sorry, how much time should we be spending? This is not 100 minutes. This is 100 marks. I was saying marks but I wrote minutes. Okay. So for 1 minute, how much marks? Sorry, for 1 mark, how many minutes? 1 mark equal to, can you do this math and tell me in the chat? $1.8. Yes, 1.7. If that would be a nightmare, but okay. I already leaked the answer here, but I just wanted to see if the chat is active. So 1.8. இது K calculation கஷ்டம்னா கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம்தான், but இருந்தாலும் excluding the reading time, maybe 1.7. See, reading time is outside 3 hours. I don't know if you know, reading 1:45 reading time starts, 2 p.m. exam starts. So 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. is 3 hours. And for 100 marks, okay, 180 minutes by 100 marks, 1.8 minutes. Simple. 1.8 minutes for 1 mark. So for the compulsory question, 14 mark compulsory question, how much time should we be spending? Can you do that, Mark? 14 into 1.8. Can you do that calculation and update in the chat? $25.2. 25 minutes. Okay. 25.2 minutes. But the problem with this is you are writing for 14 marks, correct? 14 marks. You are writing for 14 marks. But you will never be able to finish, most probably. I'm not saying it's impossible, but most probably the compulsory question, you will not be able to finish within the 25-minute mark. That is going to be hard. You are all human, and ICA definitely wants to give it a lengthy compulsory question. And if you are not able to tally the balance sheet, like if it's a consolidated question or amalgamation, or if it is a GTI question and you are not able, if you make just one mistake, you lose easily 4 marks. 4 marks for 1 mistake. That is the problem with compulsory question. Why do faculties don't want you to start with question 1? Why do all the chartered accountants say the same thing? Don't start with compulsory question. 1 mistake in the consolidated question, 1 mistake in the GTI question, you will lose 1 mark. Okay, that is going to be 100% sure. You just make 1 mistake because tax total income will get affected. Okay, tax will get affected, surcharge will be wrong, cess will be wrong. Minimum 1 mistake will cost you 4 marks. So spending 25 minutes, that is, you should be spending only 25 minutes, but ideally it will take you 35 minutes to 40 minutes. Okay, but if you make 2 mistakes, you will end up with 6 out of 14, which is a very bad mark for all the time that we've spent. Okay, for 6 marks, how much? Let's just put it optimistically as 8 marks. For 8 marks, how much time should we be spending? 8 into 1.8. $14 minutes. 15 நிமிஷம். That's all it's worth. Instead of spending with the compulsory question, instead of spending so much time in the compulsory question, if you give other chapters enough time, if you give other questions enough time, there will be better return on time investment. Okay. So that is why the compulsory question should be in the middle, or if you are not able to complete it within 20 minutes, stop that question, go to the rest, complete it and come back and solve the compulsory question. This is all we should be doing with the compulsory question. I wanted to discuss the exam phase 3 hours. Whatever you should be doing in the 3 hours, these are 3 critical things I had in mind. Rest, I have few basic things that I wanted to discuss. Every new question, write in a new page. ICA will give you unlimited additionals. You can check with everywhere. ICA will give you unlimited additionals for every new question. Okay, take a new page. It makes examiner's life easy. It makes your life easy. However, okay. So, and the question number is the most critical element now. So, if the page is here, okay, question number should be in the center, in the top center, question number 2A. Underline it. Okay, this is the basic stuff you should be doing. Then, with respect to strike off, what is strike off? I write 12,201. That is like my answer, for example. Then I strike it off and write 12,202. Okay, but in the overall scheme of things, if you strike off once, it is going to be okay to look, but even if still it'll like stand out. But if you strike off 4 to 5 times in the same question, it'll be very horrible to look at. Okay, for strike off, what I'll say is maximum don't strike off. But if you are going to strike off, don't do this clumsy striking off. 12,201. One strike off. Don't color it. It's not a coloring competition, right? 12,202. Just do this. Don't paint it completely to submerge it. It'll make things look messier. Mostly, don't try to strike off. But if you are going to strike off, do it with one single neat line, just like this. This is a very basic stuff, but it will improve your presentation drastically. Okay, this is everything that I wanted to tell you for the September exam going students. For May and Jan, I have few things that I'll touch upon. But even in the 1.5 day, I'll ask you the same thing. Just because your methods are speedy, does not mean it will give you the same results. You have to put in the appropriate method of preparation with sincere effort to get the result or the castle that you want to build. Okay, that is everything that I wanted to discuss with the September exams. If you have any questions right now, or if you want to do discuss anything, it will be the apt time right now. If not, I have few things that I will be discussing with the Jan students, Jan, May, and beyond. September going students, how's your preparation going? Or can you let me know in the chat? Preparation all over, waiting for ICA question paper. How many people are in that zone right now? Okay. So, how many May and Jan students in the house? How many people are here for May and Jan students? Okay. Jan 27, Jan 27. Starting revision from today, Sanjay Krishna. Very good. Jan 27. Okay. You guys have time to build the castle from now. Take the cubes and not the circle one. Okay. I'll tell you three things right now. Okay. Or I'll tell you the prep ethic. I coined this as prep ethic in general. Prep ethic for CA exams. Okay. And I have these common questions that's being asked. Sir, handwriting, will handwriting affect marks? Definitely no. I scored 60 with this handwriting. So by this session, most of you would have known handwriting. My handwriting is not great. I accept that. But I scored 60 with this handwriting in auditing and accounting papers as well. So handwriting is not going to be a problem for you. So let that leave your mind immediately. So for prep ethic, with practical papers, okay, practical papers, I have this line that I use. Okay, for practical papers, solve all the sums. Okay, on paper without looking the answer. Okay, solve all the sums, which means ICA source study material sums, previous year questions, RTP, MTP, and whatever other ICA source that has been released. Okay, and on paper, like it is the exam hall. Exam hall, you will be doing a presentation, right? Stick to that preparation from your home. Okay, start preparing that way now, and you will be able to prepare better. So if you are preparing here properly with the exam setup, whatever should take 1.8 minute for 1 mark will probably take 1.6 or even 1.4 if you have the practice or the muscle memory from your home preparation. Okay, and the most important point, without looking the answers, there are going to be instances, right? So all of you have been to schools, offices, or colleges, right? All of you would have been to school, colleges, or offices. So what you would have done is, like you would have not gone through the first week or so, you would have used the map. But when it crossed 1 month or 2 months, you will not even think which direction to go. You will go in autopilot, right? While driving the bike or scooter, you will not think on what to do. You will be going on autopilot. How is that? That is called muscle memory. Okay, muscle memory. So if you want to build that muscle memory for your practical papers to save time, to be on the right track, you should have already done it in your home. Okay, so if you had already solved all the sums, by the way, ICA question paper sources, right? Almost 70% of the questions from ICA sources are from ICA. 70% of the question paper in the exams are from ICA sources only. Okay, previous year RTP, MTP, and the ICA study material, that itself will come 70% with name change and number change. Okay, so if you do that at home, like it is the exam hall, without looking the answer. Okay, this is the most important part to build your muscle memory. If you do this at home and study this way, you will build a muscle memory, and then you will be able to solve fast in the exam. Okay, I have a question, sir. Should this practical sum solved immediately after getting clear concepts? Yes, you will be able to solve sums better only if you get the conceptual clarity. So if you are going through the concepts, you'll be able to get the clarity, and from that only come. But there is also a point, only if you solve and if you are able to apply the conceptual concepts properly, then only you will get better clarity. On execution only you will get clarity. So solve sums and get the execution. If you want to have perfect clarity and then only you will solve, you will never solve. Get at least 60% to 70% clarity and then start solving, and you will get the clarity and execution. Clarity comes from confidence. Confidence comes from proof. So first create proof on paper. That is the entire point of building a muscle memory. Okay, this is the base concept that I discussed for practical papers. For theory papers, okay, theory papers also includes law, audit, SM. For intermediate, it's SM, but for foundation, it's mostly law, audit, and economics, right? Law and economics. So for theory papers, as we already discussed, the examiner will only be spending 5 to 10 minutes time. So 5 to 10 minutes time on your paper. Okay, you will have the examiner will have a suggested answer key in the left. Then your actual answer key, your paper here, and if your answer key matches with the keywords in the suggested answer, your book language matches with the language in the suggested answer, and you've been able to write all the points, only then you will get marks. Okay, if you miss most of the keywords, you are not going to get marks. Based on how much keywords you covered, based on the language you used, based on the conclusion you've applied, and how much it is matching with the suggested answer, that is the only way you are going to score marks. This is the dark reality of theory papers. So for this, let's be very clear. Keywords is important. Okay, this makes it very apparent that keywords are very important. Sir, how do I memorize the keywords? How do I write the keywords? Basically, you'll have to memorize the keywords. Okay, for concepts like law, I'll discuss. Okay, I have a question. I'll also take that up after discussing this. Okay, for concepts like law, you'll have to write the provision. Okay, for concepts like law, you'll have to write the provision as it is from the exam paper, from the study material. Okay, provision from ISM as it is. There is no negotiation going on for that. You'll have to write as it is. For the study material essay or SM chapters, you'll have to write it the same way. How do I do it, sir? memorize the keywords. There is no other way. Mark those keywords. First, understand those concepts. Then connect the concepts with the keyword and try to memorize those keywords. How do I practice memorizing it? You can either recite to your friend, family members, or someone, or you can write and see. You can study the chapter, close the book, and write and see. Both ways work. Only outcome is for you to remember the keywords. You have to do extreme practice on this, but it is completely worth it. Sir, how do I get the book language? Simple. Practice lot of questions and have writing practice. Most students have difficulty in writing the exam hall because they don't practice questions. They don't practice questions from the question bank and write in their preparation phase. The first question that they will be writing on paper will most probably be in the exam hall. That is the reason why they are having struggle with writing the answers. So what you should be doing is have writing practice beforehand. And third important thing, practice a lot of MCQs. This will give you conceptual clarity. With MCQs, conceptual clarity is completely tested and sometimes even memory of keywords. So if you try this way, you'll be able to match the search answer and score marks. Remember, this is the brutal reality of correction, and this is the way you are going to survive the correction. That is the only way possible. And yes, overall, for both practical papers and theory papers, that is for tax related paper or any case scenario, there are going to be case questions asked. Okay. There is a format for case questions. You would have been aware by now. If not, this is your cue for that. First, write the provisions of that concept. Okay. Then write the case, connect the case and the provisions. Okay. Then the third thing will be to, that is the case in the sense facts of the question. Then write the case of the question. Okay. How the case and the provisions conclude and whether there is a mistake happening or they are fair in doing whatever they did. And then give a conclusion. These are the 4 frameworks in which you will have to write the questions. Okay. This is how you answer case questions. And yes, for practical papers and theory papers, you'll have to do the hard work. See, I have the simple line that goes on in every book that we write. Hard work is the new smart work in CA. New smart work in CA. See, whoever is going to spend using this ball to get faster or get the job easier or get it within their comfort zone is also going to give or spend the 3 months. And whoever is going to put in the effort, okay, whoever is going to put in the effort, okay, and study and have a very good prep ethic are also going to spend the 3 months. I would recommend you to get uncomfortable, be sincere with your preparation and stick to a preparation ethic and pass and save those 3 months instead of going to shortcuts and wasting those 3 months. That is the only preparation ethic thing that I can emphasize on. And this is a very good analogy that I came across in Twitter. This is why I wanted to make sure that I can convey a message through this. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Hopefully it answered most of your question. Let's go to the chat before sir, should the practical one? I got clear that. When should we start revision before the exams? First thing, the preparation should have completed completely for the chapter. If you have completed once, you should prepare the second time in the month of the exam, this current month. So for Jan exams, it will be December, right? So that will be that. And for the exam revision, which is like the 1.5 day or the 5-day preparation, before the exams, you should be starting it. That is the entire thing. Okay, but what if we have sub questions in a single case, like 1 year? Should we follow the same format? Kindly explain, sir. But what if sub questions in single case? Okay. For the presentation, right? I get your point. Okay. For the presentation, mostly provisions are going to be, if there are going to be 3 cases, like 1A, B, and C. There are 3 cases from the question that Sanjay had. There are 3 cases, 1A, B, C. If they have 3 provisions, okay, like 3 different provisions, just write question 1A and write it separately. If they have a single provision, okay, single provision with 3 different cases, okay, there are 2 alternatives here. Single provision multiple provisions. Okay, for proving your answer. Okay, single provision, multiple provision. If single provision, just write the provision once, and from here write 2A or like 1A, 1B, and 1C. Okay. In the given case, this has happened, but this should have happened. So, for example, I'll just take an example. Appointment of auditor. In law, audit and auditors chapter, there is this question or concept called appointment of auditor. How many of you are aware here? Appointment of auditor. Is Sanjay with me here? You can intimate in the chat box. Okay. So with appointment of auditor, right? The provision is basically the auditor should not meet few things. Okay. So if you are a relative to the company, or if you own shares in the company, or if you are an employee in that company, these are like the few points that will come in that provision. If you match any of these, you are disqualified from being appointed as an auditor for that company. Okay, this is the provision. So the question will be asked like this. So there is X Limited. They are looking to appoint an auditor. Auditor A holds this much shares in the company. Auditor B holds this much shares in the company. Auditor C does that with the company. So who can we appoint? This is probably the question. So in that case, this is a single provision question. Okay. So in single provision, what you can write is write the section number and the provision, and whatever provisions in this, it will come share. Okay, share or internal auditor. There are going to be multiple provisions that is going to be tagged in that question, right? Right. Almost all of the provisions that you can with that thing, and go one case at a time, 1A, 1B, or whatever, and write the case thing and do it. Okay. If it is a completely different provision, completely different question, the sub question is 1A and 1B are completely different, right? Different. It is treated as a different question. Okay. Sanjay, am I clear here? Is the example okay? Okay. Thank you so much, Sanjay. So this is what I'd like to emphasize. So questions like this, Sanjay's question was a very good question. I appreciate questions like this. For people who are preparing, only with practice, you will be able to get the clarity and get ahead. With practice comes confidence, or I'll put it differently. With practice comes proof, with proof comes confidence. With confidence, you get flow, and with flow, you complete vast syllabus in record time. And with preparation ethic, you pass the exams. There is no other shortcut. Hard work is the only way to pass CA. Okay. So with that, I thank the Chengalpattu ICA SICASA team for the wonderful opportunity. And also apologize to everyone for the time change. I had a family emergency and I had requested if SICASA could postpone the timing, and they were very kind enough to consider this request and do it on very short notice. So, and I also thank the students for showing up with 100% of the attendance. Hopefully it was worth the time. And thank you, Janani, for also starting the session with a very good presentation. Congratulations once again. And, thank you so much. And over to the ICA SICASA team. Thank you.